Rachel. I'm here with Sisters Action Media.
We are a group of high school students living in Philadelphia. We are a group made up of both queers and straight allies and have noticed and been affected by homophobia and bullying in our schools. We wanted to make a film that would expose this problem and advocate for the creation of safe spaces for LGBT students. 9 out of 10 LGBTQ students have been harassed because of their sexual orientation.
My friend got jumped near school, about 10 blocks away from school, for being bisexual, and it hurt her. It hurt her in our group a lot. I mean, she was depressed. She's still depressed. She was depressed for about a month. She wasn't eating. She stayed home a lot. She wasn't coming outside. She just wasn't herself, and it really affected her very strongly.
One kid actually was thrown down the steps, and he actually had to go to the hospital because he fractured his skull. So they used to call him like fags and homos and fruitcake, you know, all different types of words like that.
Well, my high school experience wasn't the best because I was the only openly gay student at my school, and unfortunately I went to a private Christian academy. So sometimes some of the older kids, and was like one in particular who was like really homophobic, would sort of push me in front of cars or something like that, and it was like, yeah, it was really bad. And then they would also smack my lunch out my hand, like things like that. Just accompanied also by name calling, you know, all the classic forms of bullying that we see.
As a teacher, I definitely hear young students talking about each other and like calling people's sexuality into question, calling people faggots, talking about like, oh, all those gay girls. You know, I try my best as like an individual to kind of like interrupt that and kind of reflect back to people like, why are you saying that?
This isn't right. This isn't something that just happens on TV. This isn't something that you just see on Nick or Degrassi or whatever. This is real stuff that happens in real life, and it really hurts kids.
What inspires me to do the work, definitely because I was a high school dropout, and it was because there were no safe spaces, and I didn't even have the language to know how to ask for it, or even to identify that that was why I wasn't going to school.
When I brought it up to the administration, what happened was they normally just pushed it out, or, you know, like, didn't really do anything because they felt that the kids were doing, or at least were expressing their religious freedom, so to speak. And also I was told that the kids were only doing what they were doing because God is trying to send me a message to change my sexuality and to change who I was.
Have you ever had to confront homophobia at your school?
Yes, I have. I've actually had to report a staff member who had called one of our ninth grade students a derogatory term for being homosexual, and it really upset the student, and he felt scared, and he felt very singled out by it, and so I had to talk to the principal because it's not okay for staff to use that kind of language, just like it's not okay for students to use that kind of language with each other.
Bullying is not just, you know, this strange issue. It's violence, it's discrimination, it's isolation, it's all these things, and it's, you know, while we may call it drama, it's physical and mental harm, and it has to be stopped. If you're a teacher, you know, having that strength to say, I'm gonna follow up with that. You know, that student said something to me. I'm not just gonna, you know, take that as one of the 40 things I see across my desk every day. I'm gonna, you know, go through with it, and, you know, telling my principal if he doesn't like that I'm intervening, then, you know, that's his problem. I'm doing this for the good of the students. And the principals stepping in and saying, you know, we want to create our schools as safe spaces for all students. So having them be, you know, having the resources to stand up. Students, you know, the burden is not just all on us, but it is partially on us.
I really think that the students should demand having something like a Gay Straight Alliance to provide support not only for students who are LGBTQ, but to provide allies, students who are straight, who are saying that we don't want our school to represent a place of hate. We want it to be safe for all students.
And I believe that safe spaces are a work that needs to happen every moment of every day. So even schools that attempt to, or groups that attempt to create safe spaces, were trained under the notion that if you set a policy, the policy would take care of the rest. And the policy is only one part of it. creating a safe space is it takes work every moment that you're working with students.
But I think that the ways to make people actually safe would be, from the beginning, creating spaces where people are allowed to fully be who they are, people are allowed to learn from their mistakes, and people are really held accountable for the kind of harm that they commit to others in the school, but they're not just kicked out, they're actually like helped and guided through reflecting on the harm that they caused and working together with the people that were harmed to figure out what needs to be done to make things right in the future.
I work for the Mazzoni Center, and I manage a couple of programs, but the most exciting program that I manage and what sold me to the position was the Safe Schools Ally program, which is a program that provides capacity building for gay-straight alliances in the city of Philadelphia, both for staff and both for students.
Ever since finding the Attic Youth Center and having friends and other staff who are also openly gay and lesbian, I've really found a newfound pride in myself.
The Attic Youth Center is an LGBTQ youth center, and LGBTQ means lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, and questioning. Our primary mission statement is to create an affirming and safe space for young people between the ages of 14 and 24 to come and to be able to express themselves. And it's also an environment where it's okay for them to come and it's okay to be you.
In the community, because there is so many resources, I'm here at the Ally Safe Schools program at the Mazzoni Center. I have a summer internship at the Attic Youth Center. I volunteer at the William Way LGBT Community Center. There's so many resources in Philadelphia. There's so many allies that you can go to. Meetings like this create safe spaces if you don't have in school. You have people, at least in the city, in the general community, that you can go to, that you have allies and someone you can talk to.